to the excitement or dismay of general audiences, comic book enthusiasts, and fans throughout the world, Marvel has finally released the official trailer of the much anticipated movie Avengers Doomsday, and so far the overall reaction is split from people being overly excited, cautiously optimistic, or straight up apathetic towards the film. This was a very late upload and I apologize for that. In this video, I'll be sharing my insights on how Marvel Studios got to this specific point in time with this film's release, and with how much the stakes are at an all-time high for this film's success, and thoughts about this trailer as well. Write down in the comments below and tell me what are your thoughts about the trailer, and are you excited or are you not? Hit those like, subscribe, and notifications bell buttons to stay up to date with this channel's weekly video uploads. And with that said, let's talk. Hey everyone, Ayo here of 4BZ Entertainment News and Gaming, and I tell you, these past couple of days of watching people's reactions to the Avengers Doomsday trailer definitely is quite a stir of emotions. What we have here is a situation that is not surprising to say the least, and with the proper context, let me break it down.
Let me break it down for you.
Ever since Avengers Endgame, Marvel Studios went full throttle in the ideological idea of the modern audience. They figured with the new hotness of this particular audience that if you're not liking the new way Marvel is doing things, to just go away, appropriately speaking. And that was being said about and to the old fan base for years now. Mind you, this is the same fan base that supported Marvel through Avengers Age of Ultron, Thor, The Dark World, and more infamously Iron Man 2. And what does Disney and Marvel have to show for all of this? Nothing but bloated budgets, box office bomb after box office bomb, scandals that got rid of the next big bad guy after Thanos, a series of movies and shows that weren't coherent as to what they were trying to build up to virtuously, aimlessly, and characters that the majority of whatever audiences remaining care almost very little about.
Not a great plan.
And I know exactly what you're thinking. Ayo, how did Marvel Studios get to this point? Was there any oversight to assure the quality of films at some point? Or was Marvel just throwing darts at the wall hoping for the best all these years and got lucky so many times? For that answer, let's go back in the MCU in its infancy stages around the time of Phase 1, with the first films of Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Captain America, and Thor. Exhibit A. Marvel Studios had in place, or Marvel Entertainment had in place, what is known as the Marvel Creative Committee, an oversight team that was an editorial group made of prominent comic book figures like Joe Quesada, a former Marvel Comics editor-in-chief and chief creative officer, comic book writer and creator of Miles Morales, Brian Michael Bendis, former president of Marvel Entertainment, Alan Fine, former Marvel Comics publisher and current president of Marvel Entertainment, Mr. Dan Buckley, and renowned comic writer Mark Miller. All were gathered and answered to Exhibit B, the then CEO of Marvel Entertainment, Mr. Ike Perlmutter, who created this committee to keep the tone in the films and shows strictly aligned with the comics and oversee Marvel's output by reviewing scripts, giving notes, and more importantly, acted as a strict financial creative check on Exhibit C. The president and executive producer of Marvel Studios and current chief creative officer, Mr. Kevin Feige.
Hi, Kevin.
Fast forward to August 2015. Keep this in mind, everyone, that this year is probably the most important and influential year to what we are seeing in Marvel today, and as well in Avengers Doomsday, that this was a few years after the Disney acquisition of everything Marvel. Then Disney CEO Bob Iger was facing insurmountable and growing drama and tensions behind the scenes between Kevin Feige,
Hi, Kevin,
along with disgruntled prominent movie directors such as James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy movies, Edgar Wright, who was originally going to direct the Ant-Man movie, the first Ant-Man movie, but left the project due to creative differences, and the Russo brothers, Joe and Anthony, who directed Captain America 3 Civil War, both Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, and later this year in 2026 Avengers Doomsday, all were whom against Ike Perlmutter and the Marvel Creative Committee. One of the reasons for this beef that we're going to focus on was primarily because of number one, budgetary constraints. The committee wanted to put a cap on actors' salaries and merchandise budgets primarily to maximize profits and prevent out-of-control spending. With his experience in the toy industry, Perlmutter kept his toy business focused mindset as a buffer for his decisions because of his perspective on Hollywood blockbuster spending as excessively risky, and therefore stifled directors' creativity or any attempts to alter scripts, and restrictions or cancellations of merchandise relating to specific heroes. So, Bob Iger weighed the overall situation and made the decision to split Marvel Studios from Marvel Entertainment, making Perlmutter and his committee obsolete, no longer having any influence on the films, and in 2019, Kevin Feige
Hi, Kevin.
became the chief creative officer of Marvel, receiving total autonomy over budgets and creative decisions, including television, animation, and comics. And since 2021, under Feige's CCO influence, Marvel Studios was not seeing box office hits like it once was prior to Avengers Endgame, but box office diminishing returns. The concerns and fears of the Marvel Creative Committee wanting to keep the cost of salaries and budgets capped have been realized with movies that have a tremendous investment of money only to break even and barely make a profit or outright bomb in their theater runs. Case in 2 points. Number one, 2023's release of The Marvels had a reported budget estimated around $270 million. In combination of the SAG-AFTRA strikes happening that year, where actors of this film were not on promotional tours to create the buzz and audience's interest, along with the required homework of watching additional hours of Disney Plus shows like WandaVision and Ms. Marvel. In the end, the box office total of the Marvels film worldwide was only $206 million, costing Marvel Studios and Disney around $237 million, factoring in not only production of the film but its marketing and overhead. Point number two. 2024's release of Deadpool and Wolverine was Marvel Studios' first film to reach $1 billion in the box office, excluding both Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man No Way Home, which were Sony movies. The film grossed over $1.3 billion globally with a reported standard budget of $200 million, and it was a hit. However, according to a Forbes article back in 2025, explained that the film's real budget through the UK's tax filings report that the film's real budget was in actuality a staggering $534 million, and the net profit is estimated by the skin of their teeth at $241 million. So even though, yes, I am overall excited about Avengers Doomsday, but I'm also cautiously optimistic. On the one hand, I finally get to see the destruction of the multiverse on film, in which all of my years being a fan have never seen on screen, and only in the comics from Secret Wars 2015. The possibilities of heroes from previous movies spanning 20 years interacting with the new ones, and finally a chance to see the reason why Robert Downey Jr. is portraying this version of Doom. But on the other hand, for the story, the possibility of a subpar and an uninspiring mess of a plot is quite up there as well. We are talking about this movie being an idea at around the 11th hour. You know what I'm saying? This literally was like shoehorned in. And Marvel needs this movie to be at least mid to show that they are trying, but we'll have to wait and see. And oh, I forgot to mention that the rumored budget for this film is in the ballpark around $400 million. So with all that said, thank you everyone for enjoying the video. Thank you for reaching to the end of this video, and thank you for your time. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.